Hey, I'm ChristopherJMUA and welcome back to my channel. Unless you've never been here, of course, then welcome. I'm so glad you've stopped by. Today, we are reviewing the Colourpop X Candyland collection and I'm so excited! It's so cute! It looks just like a board game. Like I'm gonna open this box up and we're gonna take turns and we're just gonna move some pieces around. This is obviously the PR kit. It did not get sent to me. I did pay for it and order it. So if you would like to see exactly what's inside this massive PR kit, see what the whole collection is like, what products are included, what the prices are, and how they perform on this face, then stay exactly where you are, keep doing exactly what you're doing, and keep on watching. So as you can see, this is the full box PR collection itself. It's got the embossed letters on the top and little embossed accents all throughout the actual board game, if you will. This box was $145 for everything that's included, plus the box itself. And if we flip it over, it just says Colourpop Land, which is Candyland X Colourpop. They just combined it. I love that it says licensed by Hasbro, like it's an actual board game. That's just so cute. Then if we open it up, on the top, it shows Colourpop Land, and it has the two game characters on there, and the little fairy girl and the green thing. It's like a Candyland revamp, if you will. And you can actually get this full collection itself as well without the PR box for $118. It doesn't look like it's available right now. Actually, it doesn't look like most of this collection is available right now. You can still get a few things, just not all of it together, unfortunately. So in here we have the Princess Lolli Roller Gloss. This is $9. Then we have 3 glowing lip balms, which are $9 each. We've also got 3 Super Shock cheeks, so Super Shock blushes or highlighters. I'm not sure exactly if they are blushes or highlighters or vice versa. And these are also $9 each. Then we have the Candy Castle Shadow Palette, which is $18. Then we have the Feelin' Plumpy Face Milk Kit. That is super cute. And this is $22. Then we have our Queen Frostine Pixie Puff Highlighter, and this is $15. We also have our miscellaneous game pieces. Choose your color. Which color are you? I'm blue. And then we have our little game cards over here so that we can actually play our game. And the reason why all of those pieces are included is because if we lift up the actual collection and we look underneath, we have Colourpop Land Rules of Play and the game board. We have a game board. And here is what the game board looks like. Of course, it is not, man, I gotta scoot back. Of course, it is not exactly what Candyland game board is, because it's not Candyland. It is Colourpop Land. It's a whole different place entirely. You must not have ever gone. But you can literally play this, and that makes my heart so happy. I grew up definitely as a Candyland kid. However, that was only whenever I was not being a Monopoly kid. So Colourpop, I'll be here for it when there's a Monopop board game or Monopop Colourpoly. And that's it for the actual PR box and what the bundle all includes. Now, let's jump into some of these products. So first and foremost, I've always been really interested in trying the Colourpop face milks. Ever since their sister brand or like daughter brand, what are they called? Fourth Ray Beauty. Ever since Fourth Ray Beauty was formed and they started creating face milks, I've always been super curious about them. I think they're just moisturizers in like a milky form. Not 100% sure, but based on what I've been reading, it looks like it. And it says to apply 2 to 3 drops. My favorite is watermelon. Watermelon like everything. So I'm gonna smell this and put some onto the skin and see what it's like. Just because I'm curious. Oh my gosh, that smells so good. It smells just like my Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Ultra Fine Mist. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put the papaya face milk into my 10K giveaway box. I know we're still a long way away from that giveaway, but the more I add to it now, the better it's gonna be at 10K. Okay, so now watermelon. Said 2 to 3 drops. 1, 2, and 3. Oh, it smells so good. I'm definitely going to be more than a 2 to 3 dropper. That smells yummy. I like that a lot. Now the second thing we are going to use today is gonna be the Candy Castle Pressed Powder Palette. The pictures of this looked kind of pretty, but also kind of difficult to use by itself, if that makes sense. Like, it looked like it was gonna be something that needed to be paired with another palette. So I'm curious to find out if that is actually the case in person, because it might not be. This is neat. I like this. It's got the little peppermint writing embossed a little bit so you can feel it raised. And let's see what she looks like open. Boop. Oh, there is a protective sheet, looks like. Okay, so based on first glances, it looks like we have a matte shadow with more of a sequin formula, so it has a bunch of glitter pieces in it. Super metallic, sequin, matte, 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 metallic, sequin, sequin, sequin. Wow, a really beautiful sequin. That looks like dark chocolate with gold and pink flakes in it. That shade looks beautiful. I bet that's gonna go great in the crease. This palette really does look completely different than what it looked like in the pictures. I thought it was so much lighter than this. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is light, but it's not as light as I thought it was gonna be. Now here are all of the swatches from the Candy Castle eyeshadow palette. From left to right, we have the shade Candyland, Sugar High, Cravings, King Candy, Lord Licorice, Grandma Nut, Plumpy, Rainbow Trail, Candy Crush, and Gloppy. Those swatches were actually really beautiful. This palette kind of reminds me of the Morphe X Pony collab palette. I forget what it's called, like the Icy Fantasy palette, I believe, but it's full of pastels. I reviewed that palette as well. I'll leave it linked up here so you can see what kind of tones are in that palette, because this literally looks just like it, except for these two deeper tones on the outer edge. Those are what I'm going to use to deepen up this look once I decide on what look I'm going to create. I do really, really love this Lord Licorice shade, so I think I'm going to start with that in the crease using the Morphe M433 brush. Now this shade looks like the perfect cool tone, nudie type shade for my skin tone. I literally think it's going to look just like my skin tone once I get it applied. Next, using this teeny tiny Morphe X Coca-Cola blender brush, I'm going to go into the shade Candyland, and I'm going to use that in my inner crease area. Now this shade is glittery, like a lot of glitter. I don't know if that's going to come through on camera or even on the eye, but in the pan, it has more glitter than really any of them. Oh, by the way, I primed using my P. Louise base in the shade Rumor 01. Wow, that's so washed out. Let me adjust the brightness just a little bit here. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. Okay, sorry about that. I wish I would have realized that that was like that a long time ago. I would have fixed it so you could actually see. So this pink is not very potent. It does have a lot of glitter, like I said, but there's just not a lot of excessive pigment in this shade, which it is a pastel. It makes sense that there's not a lot of excessive pigment. Just kind of disappointing. I was just hoping that it would be a little bit more saturated than this. I'm gonna take this Morphe M507 brush now, and I'm gonna go into the shade King Candy and use that to essentially try and blend Lord Licorice and Candyland together. That's kind of cute. Gives like a nice soft peachy corally tone. Can you see that? I can't see this in the monitor at all. All I can see is the brown shade in the crease. I really hope you guys can see that. You'll have to forgive me. This is the second video since I moved that I'm filming, and I'm filming them both on the same day, so I'm still trying to figure out how this environment is going to affect my sound and my lighting. So if it is a little off for the first couple of videos, please forgive me. I will figure it out in the end. Now using the 3 Ojitos Alamar Cosmetics brush, the fluffy brush by the way, I'm going to go into the shade Candy Crush, and that shade is also very, very glittery, but I'm going to use this shade to start deepening up the outer corner of the crease. I'm just going to put it right over the shade Lord Licorice and just start blending that into the deepest portion of the crease. It's also worth mentioning that some of the shades in this palette are very, very powdery. Very, very powdery. I'm trying to just do my best at picking up what powder is on top of the pan so that I don't dip into it anymore and break it apart, but it's really not helping. It's just going everywhere and getting very, very messy. But that's okay, I'll be fine. Okay, now that that shade is blown out a little bit more, I'm gonna go back in with the Morphe M433 and the Lord Licorice shade and take that up just a little bit higher, closer up to the brow bone, and I'm gonna start pulling it out into more of a wing shape. That way I can establish that general shape that I normally pull to, which is the wing shape. Wow, that literally disappears into my skin. Because it's going on a base that's a little bit lighter, it looks like it's deepening it, but then the moment I get past the eyeshadow base into my skin, it looks literally the same. I could use this as like a powder concealer if I wanted to. Now that is it for the crease completely. I've got the pink to the coral to the brown, and now we're gonna go in on the lid. And for the lid, I'm gonna use this flat Beaky Blender brush. I feel like I always use this brush for metallics or shimmer shades. I'm just drawn to it. And I'm gonna go into the shade Plumpy. I just love the names in this palette. They're so cute. Now I'm not spraying the brush or anything like that. I just wanna apply it as is and see what happens. That is like foiled heavenly purple. More like a lavender, I guess, because it is very pastelized purple. Now with the shade, I'm just gonna put this all over the lid. Go ahead and fill it up everywhere. So that's how it looks built up with just a dry brush. Now we shall see what it looks like if I spray the brush. Brush is sprayed, moment of truth. Oh wow, it looks like candy. Funny how they did that. Wow, that literally looks like a sweet lavender mousse going on my eye. I just want to eat it, but alas, I shall not. So this is really pretty. I like this quite a bit. Now I also want to use the Morphe M508, which is a really small flat brush. There you go, you can see it now. And I'm gonna go into the shade Sugar High. And with Sugar High, it's gonna go right on just the inner corner area of my lid, not the actual like inner corner here, but right here. Something's kind of poking my eye, and I don't know if it's the brush or if there's something in the shadow that's doing it. Okay, so instead I'm gonna use this Morphe brush. It's from the Morphe 39L Hit the Lights palette brush collection. Still going into Sugar High, and let's see. Okay, yeah, it was the brush. That is so pretty. I really like that. It's nice and soft, but it still has some beautiful cotton candy type color in it. It's pretty, I like it. Now I'm gonna try something kind of weird. It's probably not gonna work, or if it does, it's gonna look really gross, but I'm gonna use this Doll 10 Detail Dazzler brush, and I'm gonna go into the shade Cravings, and I'm gonna try that yellow as my brow bone highlight. I don't know if this is gonna work or how it's gonna look, but I'm trying out more colors. Stands for something, doesn't it? You know, I don't hate it. It actually kind of works. In like a weird not worky way. I actually think that looks really beautiful, but I'm not done yet. Now I'm gonna use the same Morphe M508 that was too scratchy for my inner corner and go back in to Sugar High, and I'm just gonna take a little bit of that and run it right over the shade Cravings on the brow bone. I really just want to add a little bit of a shimmer over the yellow so that it's gonna be like a shimmery yellow, if it works. Yeah, that pretty much worked. I like it. It is Candyland-esque. And now to finish off the whole top part of this look, I am gonna add a wing. I'm gonna do so with the e.l.f. small angled brush, and I'm gonna use the shade Gloppy. This shade is like the perfect shade for a wing, in my opinion. A way you can kind of cheat with an angled brush, as long as you do your eye makeup before your face makeup, is you can use that angled brush, start low with your wing shape, and then if you don't like the placement of it, you can always bring it higher and then just clean it up with a makeup wipe whenever you're done. Easy, breezy, beautiful, Colourpop land. Now I went ahead and cleaned up all underneath and around the eye, and I made the wing shape a little bit more sharp. Ooh, she is fire. Ooh, I love that. Anyways, I need to go ahead and go off camera and do this exact same thing on this eye and do my face makeup so that we can move on to the lower lash line. So I will see you guys in just a second. For me, that's gonna be like an hour and a half. I'll be right back. With my base now completely done, it is time to go in with one of the Colourpop cheeks. I don't know which one yet though, because they're all really pretty. So we've got 3 shades here. This is the shade Jolly. then the shade Gummy More, and then Gumdrop Pass. They are scented. Oh my gosh, what is that smell? It's a candy of some kind. Okay, so that's going to be a very, very sheer product. I don't see anything, honestly, so far. That smells so good. I just realized that I forgot to finish the lower lash line. That's what I was supposed to do when I first came back, so let's go ahead and do that very quickly. I'm going to start by using one of the shades that I haven't used yet, and that is the shade Rainbow Trail. And I'm going to use this Lavish pencil brush. Very, very powdery shade. Tapping off the excess, and I'm just going to start building this up right in the inner edge of the lower lash line. Not quite to the inner corner, but the inner edge. Oh, who am I kidding? This shade is not going to show up on top of my concealer and powder set under eye. There's no way. Currently, it's barely just getting a tint of the tone of a green or a minty green. It's not even getting close to showing the actual pigment that's there. Okay, something to note about the shade Rainbow Trail. You have to have a tacky base for it to show up. You just have to. Don't even try to put it on top of set concealer, because you're gonna end up with this. Can you see that? Maybe like this much. That's it. So, instead what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use just the same brush, and I'm gonna use the shade Gloppy again. And since this was the same shade that I used for the eyeliner, I'm gonna continue the eyeliner down onto the lower lash line on the outer edge, and I'm gonna just gently pull that in about halfway. Got that shade applied about halfway through, like I said. Now I'm going to use the same Morphe M433 brush that I used earlier in the shade Lord Licorice, and I'm going to go back into the shade Lord Licorice, and I'm just going to smoke out Lord Licorice, Gloppy, and Rainbow Trail with Lord Licorice. Not that Rainbow Trail is even going to stay showing up while I do this, but we'll pretend. Okay. Nice. I like it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish off my lower lash mascara. Since the lower lash line is done, then I'm going to come back and we're going to finish off with the highlighter and the lip products. So I'll see you guys in just a second. So despite the fact that that blush pretty much made it look like I have highlighter on already, I still want to go in with highlighter. And we're going to be provided with our highlighter today by Queen Frostine. She's going to rock this highlighter. I love that this is in this big jar so you can use it as like an all over body highlight. That is not how I'm going to be using it today, however. I honestly don't know if I ever will use it like that. Oh, but the powder poof is so cute. It's so fluffy. Ooh, I would love that just for face powder. Kind of reminds me of the powder poof that my grandmother kept on the back of her toilet in her bathroom. She, of course, had some powder back there as well, and it smelled very strongly. It was probably Coty Airspun. So it looks like on the inside we've got it sealed with some plastic. I'm trying to peel that up now. So now I'm going to use my Sigma F35 tapered highlight brush, and we're going to go into this giant jar and see what this highlighter looks like. It looks very sparkly, like glittery sparkly. Oh wow. Yep, it is very glittery sparkly. It's a good thing I'm in a glitter mood because there's glitter all over everything now. That's like perfect for my skin tone though. There's zero cast at all. Oh wow. Okay. Listen, Queen Frostine can be on my face anytime she wants because that is beautiful. Now let's move on to lips. So we've got those 3 glowing lip balms and a lip oil? Is that what that was? Roller gloss. I have not seen a roller gloss in years. Let's start out with the glowy lip balms. So it looks like this one is peppermint. It does not smell like peppermint. It smells not good. I don't know what it smells like, but it doesn't smell good. Oh, it feels good and it tastes just like peppermint. That actually feels really, really good. It looks cute too. I like that. It goes perfect with the eye look. It's like a your lips but better sort of vibe. And now it smells like peppermint and tastes like peppermint. We've also got Mr. Mint. This one's more like a coral. Tangerine-y, coral-ish. This one, I can't really tell the pigment from it. It just looks like a balm. Then the last one is Let's Chill. and it looks more like a strawberry red. So I think they all taste and smell the same. I think they're all just kind of a pepperminty type flavor slash scent. But I can tell that this one is definitely more of a berry tone. So the orange one was the one that just didn't build up quite as much, but they are all sheer buildable products. Now let's try the roller gloss. That's kind of what I'm most excited about for the lips. Lips are product free. Now let's see what the roller gloss is all about. That is just so cute. I want all of my glosses to be like this. I think my grandma actually gave me a gloss like this at one point in time. It was in like a green tube. That feels really weird. Is that strawberry? This is in the shade Princess Lolli. Maybe it tastes like a lollipop. It tastes fantastic though, whatever it is. Okay, so I see what this is about. It's not a super goopy or thick gloss. It's just a nice, sheer, pretty, light gloss. It doesn't feel like anything is on, really. It tastes like something is on. I like this one the most. It tastes the best. I just want to eat it. It tastes like candy. Oh my gosh. And with the roller gloss, that is the last product from the Colourpop x Candyland collaboration. So what do you guys think of the final look? I think it's super fun and super cute. I'm glad that the whole collection came with the little face milks because I hadn't had a chance to try those yet, and I'm glad that I could because I like them. They're moisturizing, they smell good, so why not, you know? It was an interesting texture that I was happy to try, and I'm glad I have some now. For sure, would recommend it whenever it comes to like skincare type products. Just as a moisturizer, it seems like a good moisturizer. My skin feels great. Plus, it looked plumper, which I didn't expect it to do that, but it seemed like it did. I just got really juicy in my face, if that's not weird. Now, the Candy Castle eyeshadow palette. This isn't the most recommendable thing from this collection, in my opinion. I think the shades are a little too light overall, but I get that it was a candy collection, and pastel tones is kind of the whole vibe of it. And I get that. That just means that this specific palette isn't going to be for everybody. I think it's probably not something that I would buy by itself again. If it hadn't been in this collection, I probably wouldn't have bought it. But I'll admit, the packaging and the aesthetic and the vibe of this collection is what made me buy it. I loved Candyland as a kid. The nostalgia of it all just made me want to have it. And with that being said, it kind of gives you insight. I do think that it's a cute palette, and I like the look that I got out of it. I even like the pastel tones, and I like playing with them. It's just really limited. You have to use a lighter base to have them pop, really, and a normal way, like an easy way. You can't just throw your concealer on your lid and pop a green pastel shadow on top. It's just not going to show up, just like with my under eyes, how the minty green didn't show up. So not for everybody, but if you want to work with it the way that you need to work with it to make it work, it's a good palette for that. The Super Shock Cheeks. I always love the Super Shock Cheeks. The formula just in general. This one though, the Gumdrop Pass, took so much building up. And I think it was partially because it had more of a satin finish and I wasn't really seeing it in the lights building up color because all I could really see was a reflect. The Queen Frostine highlighter is so bomb. I love this. I am gonna use this forever and ever. Honestly, I kind of want to buy a second one and I want to press it into a single highlighter pan, like a single face pan, because I think this would make a beautiful pressed highlighter as well. I might do that actually. Then the glowing lip balms. I don't think you need all three of them. If you're in the market for a lip balm and you want one that's not completely clear and you want to add just a little bit of tint to your lips and you like the smell and taste of peppermint, then sure, why not, you know? Now the Princess Lolli Roller Gloss. Oh yeah, this is a must-have. If you have never used a roller gloss or a roller lip product period, you should try this. Now if you like the big gloopy glosses that make your lips look 12 times bigger, this isn't one of those. But it's not just a lip balm either. You're gonna get a little bit of a nice, cute, shiny gloss. So those are my final thoughts on the Colourpop x Candyland collection. But the most important thing is what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below, do you like the collection? Do you like parts of it? None of it? I think I love the fact the most that it came with its own board game. I mean, what? What PR collection comes with its own board game? That's just fantastic to me. Anyway guys, that's it for me for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up because it does let me know that you like my content. It also lets YouTube know that you like my content, and that helps out a lot. Also, if you like this look and you want to see more looks like them, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. My username is the same for everything. It's just ChristopherJMUA. And if you gain nothing out of this video, if you gain nothing out of any of my videos, please at least gain this. And that is to always remember and to never forget that you are absolutely beautiful. And I love you guys. Bye.